Hey, best friend, sister, girlfriend, it's your girlfriend next door, Andrea. Listen, it's been a minute. Look, I tried to come correct with a new look and stuff, Anyway, I am about to, y'all sorry. Every time I told you every time I get on line, my nose itch. I have no idea why that happens, but it happens. So anyway, I am about to start a new podcast. So I just wanted to come over. I feel like I should turn this way for you guys. I'm about to start a new podcast. So I figured I would come over. I felt cute. I had a little interview today. Not a job interview, but an interview for someone wanted to interview me about friendship coaching. So I said, and it was a Zoom interview. I was like, well, let me get a little cute. Let me get a little cute. So anyway, we will start shortly. So I will go through the regular routine. Hey, best friends, it's girlfriends. I'll be back in a minute. Bye. Okay, here we go. Hey, best friend, sister, girlfriend. It's your girlfriend next door, Andrea. I know it's been a while. You guys, every single time I record something, why does my nose itch? And it's so disturbing because some of these I actually record and place them on YouTube so we can see each other. Because I like to see y'all. I like to see my friends. Okay, today, you guys, I'm drinking water because I had way too much fun on Memorial Day weekend. Okay? Uh-uh. So excuse my swallow. Let me do that again. Hey, best friend, sister, girlfriend. It's your girlfriend next door and friendship coach, Andrea. I am so glad to be back with you guys. It's been way, way, way too long. And if I had to admit it, it's due to a little laziness on my part. I was traveling, and even though I was bringing Goldie with me, I was a little neglectful. And anyway, I think I got a good topic for us today. So, let's throw a scenario out there, okay? What happens when you are in a friendship, in a relationship, and okay, something happens, right? Something goes awry. And you may not understand and take or know all of your responsibility in it at that moment, but you know that this other person is hurt or whatever, and you're hurt too. So maybe it was a falling out, maybe you growing apart, whatever. So you begin to miss this person. You begin to say, I miss my friend. We used to go out and just do it. Do it, do it, do it. You know how it is. Whatever your version of doing it is, honey, because, I don't know what y'all be doing. Anyway, but whatever your version of doing it is, you doing it, right? And you miss that good girlfriend time. And you may not want it to be exactly like it was, but you at least want, to check in, once a quarter. Let's just go out and have a real good time. So you start to think to yourself, I really valued this relationship and I miss that person. And you ask yourself, what can I do to, hear this person out, salvage this relationship, so on and so forth. So, first and foremost, you start to self-evaluate first, because you going in because you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're gonna get the cuss out, the ghosting. You don't know if their phone number changed. You don't know what to expect. So you preparing yourself for whatever could happen, right? You start preparing yourself, just like, okay, we can do this. So you may say, I'm gonna reach out and send a text. And in the text, you may say, hey, I would like to see if we could get together and talk, maybe over the phone. Can we meet in person, have some coffee? Whatever, however you, excuse me, however you want to do it. I'm drinking sparkling water, so that bubble just came up. Anyway, so you decide to send the text message, and it's been like a day or so, you didn't hear anything back. So you start to get in your feelings. Maybe they need to take some time to figure out how they want to respond. And you don't hear anything back, but you say, what? I know this person. You know, I know them to a point. I can't just run up on them, but I know this my girl. This my girl. We can get past this. Like, it wasn't detrimental that we can't get past it, right? So after the text, you wait a few days. Then you say, what? I'm just gonna call her. We this was my girl. We hung out almost every weekend. I'm gonna just call her just to let her know. Maybe the text just, maybe it felt a bit impersonal. So I'm gonna call so she can hear my voice and the sincerity, in my voice, so she'll know that I actually mean it. So you do the call, girl, and ding, ring, ring, no answer. Girl, what you do? So you feeling like, dang, okay, girl, like it's really this deep. And it really could be this deep for her. You just never know. So then you say, okay, I'm gonna let that marinate. I'm gonna let that marinate for a little while. I've texted, I've called, you know, we don't want to go too deep because I could call her mama. Because y'all was friends like that. You was wrapped up in the family, right? You knew the family, you knew the sister, the brother, the mama, you knew everybody, right? And when a relationship breaks up, everybody suffers. They miss you, they miss your cooking, the laughter, they miss everything. So and you miss it too. So you really trying to figure out, how can we get past this? Like, it's got to be a way. It's just got to be a way. So, I mean, you don't want to go too, like, some people will go old school to be like, hey, maybe I need to send a note. Like, I don't know. And then you think, well, should I ask a friend to let her know that I want to talk? Because then that's involving another person. Should I really involve another person? Because that can get kind of iffy, because then we got other people's opinions, and it's really between just you and I. Like, we just really need to work this out. And you still in that feeling of, I miss my friend. So you just going through the process, talking to yourself at night. You in the bathroom, in the shower, like, dang, this girl really, she is done with me. So you begin to ask yourself, when do I realize that this truly may be over? When do you give yourself the permission to say, I'm done? Or when do you give yourself the permission to understand that they either may be done or the timing is just off? And I know a lot of times when you're going through the emotions, you're not thinking about them. You're really thinking about yourself, because, most of us, and let's be honest, you guys, most of us are selfish, okay? So you think of yourself before you think of others, and you think of your experience, your feelings, and you're really not thinking about what the timing is, what that person has going on. You just like, I reached out, I text, I call, and they not, responding. I'm trying to be a bigger person over here. Like Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. So I'm trying to be, that girl. So anyway, with all that being said, how do you figure out, like, it may be really done, and what do you do? How do you really throw in the towel? What do you do? How do you, like, get past this? And you begin to ask yourself, like, wow, this was someone I loved deeply. I kept her kids. I paid for her dinner, gave her money when she didn't have a job. Now, these are truthfully all examples. This is not a personal experience, but I know how deep friendships can go. And when you have a true friend and that person needs you, you're there for them. You're there for them when they want to vent about their boyfriends, husbands, when finances are rocky. Um, you just always there for your friend because that's what you would truthfully want in return, right? Because we treat others the way we would like to be treated. That's at least what we've been told. And so it's heartbreaking to know that someone that you care so deeply about, and you began to look back on whatever the reason was that you no longer speak anymore, it becomes very minute in a scheme of, say, a several year relationship. Whatever the reason, it could be something that's so small that you're like, we can work this out. I think there's a book called Workoutable. That's it, Workoutable. It can definitely be something that's worked out if, and here we go, if both parties are willing. And it becomes very heartbreaking um, when you have a different person who's involved in a situation who's either unwilling, unable, or just simply is just done. And I'm asking and making a point to say all of this is to say, how do you work through this? How do you work through it? How do you begin the process of healing for yourself when you understand that there's so many things intertwined in a relationship like this? She could have had kids and they could have called you auntie, and now you no longer have access to the children. Or you loved her mom, and every Sunday you guys would go by her mom's house, and her mom looked forward to seeing you guys come through the door, and she had your favorite apple pie there. It becomes a sense of family. That your nucleus is broken down, and you're trying to figure out how to handle this, because in the midst of anger, a lot of times we say a lot of things, we do things, and a lot of times you don't mean it, or you may mean it, but your delivery is not a delivery of love. So you're asking yourself, wow, what do I do? And here we go, people. It's time to evaluate. It's time. As I sip, hold on, let me sip my sparkling water. And I was going to give you the name of it, but I'm not even sure the name of it. But anyway, excuse me. I have to keep it real over here, girl. I got to keep it real. I had to get some water. So it's time to do some self evaluation. And before this action repeats itself in another way, in another relationship, um, with a friend, lover, or whatever, sit down and really say, how could this have been avoided? Like, literally, how could this have been avoided? And I'm talking about, take your anger out of it. What part did I play in the breakdown of this relationship? What could I have done differently to salvage this relationship? How much kinder could I have spoken to them to express myself to salvage this relationship? Because as much as I understand that it may be about the other person in your mind, you played a part. Whether you played a part of ignoring signs of when things was going wrong, and you let it continue on and continue on to a point that it broke, because a lot of times we do this too. You in a relationship and you sitting up here not saying anything and not communicating properly. you know um I just let me just do a sidebar. Recently, and I'm happy to say this, the platform is really, really growing. I've been contacted by several different people for interviews. As I stated, I had an interview earlier today. That's why I decided to jump on because it was so fresh on my mind. She was asking questions, and one of the things she asked me about was some tools that could be used in communication and friendships. And one thing that we have to be honest with ourselves. We control the relationship, right? And we can make it as fun and light and bright as we possibly can to get our point across. And she asked me, what happens when a girlfriend calls her friend and she wants to vent? She doesn't want an opinion. She wants to do is be able to tell her what happened. And she doesn't want this whole blown out, well, girl, let me tell you what to do. And I said, well, this is how you set up different things in a relationship. You know how you have girl code? Now, we know girl code to be something that's, in a negative sense. But that's not really what I'm speaking of. The girl code that I'm speaking of is actually creating codes in your relationship that that only you know. So an example would be if you wanted to communicate with a friend and you didn't want any feedback, all you wanted was an ear. You guys have to come up with the code word. Code word could be hairbrush, girl. I need my hairbrush today. Hairbrush, hairbrush, hairbrush. Hairbrush? What the heck? Hairbrush. I'm looking at a hairbrush, so that's what I said. Hairbrush. So anytime you communicate or get on the phone or talk to your girlfriend, you start the conversation off with, here we go with another hairbrush moment. Your girlfriend is already gonna know the code. Code is, I don't want to hear what you got to say. Let me just tell you, and you gonna listen, and we gonna get off the phone. However you create your code, right? So you be like, girl, hairbrush today. I need it. I need your time. I have a hairbrush appointment with you today. So you express, and this is something, even though I'm making light of it, it's still a way to communicate so the communication isn't broken down. So you express what it is that you need to express, and your friend automatically knows you've instructed me to not give an opinion, and you leave it there. And that's what happens. And when you create another code, when you want the opinion, when you need the advice, you create your codes. Be like, hey girl, it's time for the suntan. It's time for the suntan. Hey, it's time for the suntan. She know what that means. And I'm just, creating just silly words. But honestly, when you think about what your part is in a relationship, if you're not willing to go in and allow that person to know what part they're supposed to play in this drama, I mean, I don't want to call it drama, but in this play. I mean, honestly, our life is like a journey, it's like a play. You gotta let them know, like, today is the day that I need this from you. And if you don't let them know this is what I'm seeking, and you feel like your friend is on autopilot, you almost doomed to fail, because as human beings, we can't read minds. It's and a great example of this is when it comes to us being in relationships. And I know we all do this. You might vent about your boyfriend, vent about your husband, vent about anything, work or whatever. And 6 months later, everything's fine, right? You fine with your man, you fine with your work, but that person remembers that. So if you're not able to instruct what you want that person to feel at that moment, to say, you know what, I'm having a bad day. All I want to be able to do is vent to you, but I don't want this to carry on into anything else. You have to be open and open and upfront about it. And this comes into mature adult relationships. And a lot of things that I'm seeing, you guys, I feel that especially the examples I see on TV, because I know people are influenced by TV, social media. I see girls falling out on social media, popular women, and all these housewives shows, and they're such poor examples of what mature women should act and be like in relationships. It's just, it's really not giving you any skills of how to move on. It's like this hot cold thing. One minute you guys are arguing, the next minute, oh, I love you. And most people can't function like that. Most people, if that was the case, they would be in jail somewhere, honey. And you know it. And what I see is like people just are not maturing past the playground. We learn how to make friends and become friends on the playground. Oh, she, Sarah likes pink. I like pink. Let's go play with Sarah. But then, honey, life gets deep. Okay, life gets deep, and we go through. And I don't like to use bad words, but we go through some things. Okay, and some deep things. Women around here losing children, losing husbands. Women over here talking about if you're a black woman. Now this did get to me today, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I got to just go on and put this out there. The black woman said there's a shortage of black men. She said half of them in jail. Another percentage of them are gay. And then she had this breakdown. And she said, if you have a man and he's a good man, you should know that you have to share him because there's not enough men to go around. Now, how I got off on that tangent, I don't know. But we girlfriends, and girlfriends, when we talk, we just sometimes, honey, be in your head, and just want to let it out. You just want to let it out, girl. I had to let that. That really bothered me when that lady said that. She said, you should automatically know that you do not deserve. What type of woman are you that you feel that you deserve to have a man to yourself? And I couldn't believe that this was real. This person was actually saying this, but she believes it. And I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking if she believe it, how many more women believe this? But let me get back to friendship, because that's the part of the girl, the bad girl code, the bad stuff. I wanted to focus on the positive, but some fun exercises you may want to do with your friends on the next girls' night or brunch or something like that. Guys, come up with a game where you can come up with your own girl codes. You know what I mean? Something fun, something light. So when you talking and blah 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 about to hit the fan, they know exactly what to do with the information. And do it amongst a group of friends so all you guys know exactly what to say. I'm over here talking about hairbrushes and suntan lotion. I'll come up with some better ones, but I would love for you guys to communicate better so you can have longevity in your friendships, better communication. And, truthfully, if you have attempted to rectify wrong in a relationship and it's been very difficult to get a response from that person, sometimes you have to either know when to walk away or allow yourself to put out every positive energy you can towards that person so they'll know that you're open, and just be in a place where when they're ready, you can be open, because you just don't know when that person can be open. Or if you decide that that's all and you want to close the door, just be ready for what, that looks like. But cherish the moments that you did have. And that's pretty much it, guys, honey. I love y'all. See, somebody called me and say, Andrea, I miss you. So we can chit chat and talk. Cause girl, we all going through. How many friendships have y'all lost over since COVID? How many of your friends hadn't called and checked on you? And I don't want to be, the Debbie Downer, because I'm sure there has been some beautiful relationships that have blossomed, during COVID as well. We've been doing all types of things, finding people of all types of interest, right? Whew. So anyway, let me powder my nose real quick. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's all we have for today. I'm going to post this, and until next time, you know how we do. Hey, best friend. Hey, it's your girlfriend next door. And your friendship coach. I will not sing for you guys because I know it's a mess, but here you go. Here go the song. I love you. Bye.